read about the 5 here.
I was going to say it was an amazing homecoming. The first day there were a lot of wins for the Browns, even though they went down as an official L that first day with Elliott Shore Parks, who was on the afternoon drive yesterday. And yesterday, though, a dramatic sea change in the hierarchy of the NFL football, because the Browns went there and they kicked their ass, Kenny. They kicked the Philadelphia defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. They kicked their ass.
Yeah, they did.
Normally, that means it's Super Bowl Super Browns time. Here's Elliott Shore Park on the afternoon show with Nick and Jonathan Peterlin.
I thought the Eagles won yesterday. The Browns won today. But wherever you fall on yesterday's practice, today was much more of a clear victory than yesterday was for the Eagles. I thought the Browns absolutely, destroyed the Eagles for the later part of practice. I had the Browns starting quarterback, which was Joe Flacco, I believe, for all their first team reps, going 9 of 13 with 4 touchdowns, including 3 touchdowns in the final team period. So, yeah, I mean, look, the Browns are not going to be very good this year, but they were certainly very impressive today.
And then they had beers after the game, after the practice. So you guess what? That's our Super Bowl, man. That's our Super Bowl. They should have Joel Bitonio should have shaken up the Miller Lite and sprayed it all over Wyatt Teller up there in the middle of the Philadelphia sun.
Can I order a Sports Illustrated Cleveland Browns joint practice telephone?
Yeah, of course.
Harold Fannin was walking off the field, and they put a camera in front of him and said, "Where are you taking your family? Where are you taking them?"
Hershey Park.
right up the road.
Which, by the way, guys, they actually did drink beer. Landon Dickerson brought out beer.
They did.
They were drinking Miller Lights out there. That's a real story.
I did tell Ken on the phone, old me.
Look at these guys.
Single Anthony Limo, who is ready to mix it up on social media. I did say old me might have said that the Browns don't get to drink until they win the Super Bowl.
That's stupid.
That
old you would have been stupid.
Celebrating is for champs. The Eagles are the champs. The Browns are 3-14.
New you says a lot of stupid stuff too, so I don't know which one to yell at.
That you need to dangle the carrot. Drinking is for the winners.
They won. They won the practice yesterday, so they get to drink the beers.
Don't the defending Super Bowl champs get to anoint anyone else?
Was this a passing of the torch?
Passing of the can.
Maybe it was. Maybe Landon Dickerson goes, "You guys are the chosen ones now. Off you go." And then the Browns said, "We are the chosen ones." Quinshon Judkins is now available to play after the NFL has their say about it. And it seems that Isaiah Bond is going to be available to play. And boy, what an afternoon that became. I saw my phone. I went, "You're kidding me. Quinshon, these charges are dropped? Well, okay then." And then Isaiah Bond. Can I just give this little story here? So I go over. It just sounds like it's such easy product placement. But I go over to Classic Chevy, and I'm talking to the guys. They go, "Did you see we signed Isaiah Bond?" And I went, "What?" He goes, "You didn't know about this?" I go, "I was driving. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with you. And you weren't looking at your phone while you were on the phone with me." No. So Lime and I are talking, and like as I pull into the dealership, they had signed Isaiah Bond, or apparently they are looking into what is the situation.
Well, he wrote Isaiah 8 paragraphs that he signed with the Browns.
Isaiah Bond wrote a whole thing about joining the Browns. So I don't think it's official. The Browns haven't put out anything, but Adam Schefter is saying that Isaiah Bond is joining the Browns. So apparently we're getting Isaiah Bond from Texas, who did have a sexual assault allegation against him.
You know how the Lakers, there's just always something about the Lakers, they get the superstar, right? Or the Green Bay Packers have had, like 30 years of here's one quarterback to the next. We apparently are always going to have a player that is charged with either domestic assault or a sexual assault. And I'm not even trying to make light of it.
I know you're not.
Because it's just who the Browns are. The Browns are always going to take these swings. And I do think I have a theory on it. I have a theory on why it's the Browns. I think the Browns have said, in the past, they've got the largest, the most robust analytics group known to mankind that helps in not just game day ops, but scouting. They have done all this. They've thrown more money at it than just about everybody in the NFL. I mean, the catalog of names they have in their analytics department. Yet their drafting in the Andrew Berry regime is, of any GM that's been around 6 years, has to be the bottom, right? And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful about this draft class. There are guys I love in this draft. Harold Fannin, by the way, apparently has been awesome. So I'm excited
Carson
about that.
Swessinger all over the field.
Yeah, Mason Graham, who was drawing double teams in the first preseason game. Whatever.
So what were do you want me to give my initial thoughts?
I'm getting to my theory.
Okay.
I'm getting my theory.
Right.
So I think the Browns are now, as analytically driven as they are, I think they throw their hands up in the air and they say, draft's kind of a crapshoot. And we've been missing, and we've been missing, and we've been missing. So at the very least, let's go after the guys that would have been better draft picks, and let's call them valuable, because that's where the market inefficiency is. Like guys that slipped, like Philadelphia has gotten players over the years in the draft, and Baltimore has gotten players in the draft that they've been able to have them fall in their laps later that should have gone way higher because of either allegations, accusations, bad temperament, injuries, whatever. And I think the Browns are saying, hey, you know what? It works out for those guys. So this whole thing's a crapshoot. Let's just do this because we can't draft well on our own. So this is what we have to rely on. And let's hope they come through. Of course, we have a laundry list of players that with the Browns, it has not worked out. And it's made the Browns one of the most unlikable teams in recent NFL history. And so the Browns are probably
Why are they unlikable?
We're already unlikable. We don't win games. So let's throw the darts. And that's what they're doing here. And I do think
second sentence is the operative sentence, though.
And by the way, in the
this.
dealings we have with our callers every day and people on social media, yeah, there's always a few who are like, oh, why would the Browns do this? But for the most part, I think we all can recognize that if the Browns won games, their fans would be quiet. If Deshaun Watson would have been a good quarterback, all the people that said they left the Browns, they would have come back. They would have bought playoff tickets. And I think the Browns know that. And so they have that on their side. So it doesn't matter when Mary Kay writes that Dee and Jimmy are just so upset. They lose sleep over allegations and all this. And they bring in Lisa Friel, the NFL special counsel for investigations, to talk about domestic violence cases. That's all the optics. And yeah, they talk to them like a symposium of all the young players to not commit these things. But in the end, the Browns every time are going to sign these players and hope that they're getting value out of it.
So let me say this. There's a lot of things that I have been disrespectful on when it comes to Nick Wilson's opinions.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make a joke there. It comes off like I am, but I'm not. I know what Nick said yesterday. I respect Nick's opinion. Which was? Nick had he seemed to have a serious problem with them signing or looking like they're going to sign Isaiah Bond. I respect Nick's opinion. However, when you said the second sentence, they're unlikable, they don't win. It's like, that's the one. Because I see teams in the NFL, and I'm not trying to push anything aside from the Browns. They're 3-14. The reason that they get hammered, though, is because they're 3-14. Because they have a history of being a 3-win football team. That's their history. I brought up to you yesterday. I go, I'd love to sit there and call the Browns the victim when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders speculation and all the crazy conspiracy theories out there. They're only a victim of their previous failure. That's all they're a victim of. So there's no victimization there when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders stuff. And this is an extension of it. Because there's other teams that, yeah, they sign guys who have very troublesome pasts. And then they go out and win 14 games. They're called the Kansas City Chiefs. And they have been known under the Andy Reid era, you win. And when you win, I don't think people are going and celebrating all the things that happen off the field or the previous transgressions alleged or confirmed off the field. But winning is the key. And they're a desperate team that's trying to win. They're desperate. When you're the first team that's in on Isaiah Bond, and we know what our wide receiver room looks like, you're desperate. When we were all down about, I can't believe this guy who seems, and this shows you, we don't know each other as well as we all think we do. I've interviewed Quinshon Judkins 3 times since he got drafted. The night he got drafted and 2 other times. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. Seemed like a nice guy. And now these charges are being dropped. I don't know what the NFL is going to have their say about all this. Just because of the courts, they're gone. Seems like the court of public opinion is going to have its say. But the name of the game is ultimately to win. And I can wring my hands and I could be upset, but it's trickled down into major college football. Tone, if we covered Penn, University of Penn, or we covered any one of the 5 teams that played at that Palestra, I could get myself twisted in knots if I really wanted to. But the name of it is to try to win.
Is there a number of players
and I think
that would be too much for you, Ken Carman, that would make you uncomfortable?
How?
The amount of players. Like we already, Mike Hall, Perrion Winfrey, Devin Bush is on the team.
I understand that.
Obviously now Judkins, and look, we want all these guys.
But Anthony, I don't think.
Is there a number that it would be too much?
No, I don't. There's no over/under on it. But I don't think anybody's.
You would never be uncomfortable.
It does. No.
Because you've used the term uncomfortable before.
I don't think anybody's comfortable. No, who's comfortable talking about what Isaiah Bond was accused of? Who's comfortable talking about the charges that were dropped against Quinshon Judkins? Nobody's comfortable. So there's no number. Yes, no, 5, 8. There's no number of it. Nobody's comfortable with it.
Would you be? Do you think the Browns would just be better off signing another wide receiver that doesn't have, allegations or
in the court of public opinion? Yeah, but
so are you surprised they still do it?
No,
because I am after they brought in that woman to talk to the Browns, and Dee and Jimmy turned to the cameras and said that, enough is enough. We're going to do all our due diligence. Like, I just would think, just from sheer optics.
So you have a problem
even
with it?
I got to say, I'm stunned that they went right back to the well on the same day that they got some good news out of Judkins. And we still don't know. We still don't know if he's going to be suspended or not. We've had players before, based on the NFL investigation, that charges were dropped that have been suspended. So we'll wait to see what happens here. But I'm just surprised, like, they couldn't even wait a week. They couldn't even wait 2 days. It was the same day.
Because they can't.
It almost seems like they are flaunting it in the face. Like, the women that are Browns fans, it almost seems like they are rubbing it in their faces. And believe me, I saw that reaction yesterday from a lot of Browns fans that are women on social media that have a following that are sick to their stomach that they can't stay away from guys.
I think they simply see it as, if we don't get to the wide receiver, other teams will. And we need a wide receiver. I think that's the way they see it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you have this. Again, I respect your opinion.
I mean, I'm being dead honest. My wife said if our daughter grows up and ever hangs out with a Browns player, she was going to be fired up. Like, that's what women are saying locally. Like, that's not just a random women. Like, I saw it on Instagram yesterday. There were women that were fired up about this. And they have no idea who Isaiah Bond is.
All right.
They probably have no idea who Judkins is. They do have an idea that the Browns, the first chance they get, will be the team that will sign these guys every single time.
So, Lami, I got to tell you, you've surprised me a little bit with your opinion of it. Quinshon Judkins, his charges are dropped. Seems that he is now free to join the Browns or to sign a contract with the Browns, because he hasn't actually signed a contract. Once he signs a contract, then I think Rodgers is going to have his say. The NFL is going to have this say, and they probably want to move that along probably quickly within this situation. Well, he'll be put on an exempt list, and then you would go on from there. Isaiah Bond, he has said he is getting ready to sign with the Browns. Lima draws umbrage with it. He's not the only one. Nick Wilson yesterday, this is him on Afternoon Drive, wasn't very thrilled.
It's not that hard to have a little bit of class. It's not that hard to honor this freaking city. Like, seriously, man. I got family here. I got generations of people that have supported this team, and you've brought shame on us every time. Where can I turn? The Eagles got a Super Bowl for their moral indiscretions. Where's ours? Oh, by the way, don't worry. We got it. Don't question them. Don't question the big corporation. They won't know more than you blue-collar peons. I mean, dude, you couldn't let 90 minutes pass from one big legal what the bleep was that to the next? I'm like, why do we do this? Why do any of us do this?
See, I disagree. When he mentions the Eagles and say they got their Super Bowl, it's like, okay, so they're bad. They're 3-14, and this doesn't make anything better. But would it be all right if they won Super Bowls? Would it be all right if they were a playoff team?
I think most fans would say yes.
Yeah, I think, I do think, like.
But
I'm gonna throw this at Owen real quick. I'm gonna throw this at Owen. I mean, you're a Chiefs fan. You grew up a Chiefs fan.
I've heard that. Yeah.
We're Chiefs fan.
I'll stop you there. I got a push notification yesterday from Kansas City, the Odyssey station in Kansas City, that said Rashee Rice will be eligible the first 4 games because he's not going to court for his stuff from over a year ago until September 30th.
So that's part of it as well. But let me ask you,
it's a different realm, but it's still not, it's still not great.
And that's my entire point of it. Is like, hey, again, Nick, I respect you. This is beyond show stuff. I respect Nick, okay? But when you're saying, well, the Eagles got a Super Bowl for their indiscretions. All right, well, you just said it right there, because if they did, Super Bowls shouldn't matter if we're going to be that upset about it. If we're going to be that mad, Super Bowls and winning shouldn't matter. So where do we draw the line? Because like, I look at a Chiefs fan, I'm sure Chiefs fans, they celebrated Patrick Mahomes. They celebrated Travis Kelce. They tolerated Tyreek Hill. They celebrate, I'm guessing here, Owen, they celebrated Chris Jones. They tolerated Andy Reid's son.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the thing you do when it comes to pro sports.
You don't have to talk about that bad because you've got enough good to talk about.
Exactly. Right? We don't have enough good. And so in the reason why I look at them like, hey, man, I'm not saying you guys are completely out of order for what you're saying. This is an emotional thing. Because if they do go terrible this year and things do end up poorly, this is all used against them. This is all used against them.
Well, it's all right. That's the thing. You don't have to wait. And that too. It is being used against them right now in the moment because of their bad PR, because they've been such a bad team.
And if Quinshon Judkins were to get in trouble again, God forbid, or if Isaiah Bond were to get in trouble again, God forbid, well, then you say, well, what did you guys do? You guys say you do your due diligence. Do you? Mary Kay writes you do your due diligence. Do you do it? Because you went ahead and signed him. And here we go again. You have this again. So this is still like, you take the risk. You take the risk with the bad PR hit. You take the risk with the initial PR, and then you take the risk of getting a phone call on an early morning, and you hope that doesn't happen. So it's on them. They want to win. The name of the game is winning. They haven't won. It's blamed right on them. When they do start to win, we will celebrate some of the good guys on the team. We'll tolerate some of the past indiscretions of the not so great guys that we think are not so great guys on the team. That's the NFL. That's the league. I'm not trying to condone it. I'm trying to be as realistic as I possibly can.
Well, you just seem like you're in the camp of the Browns might as well keep firing, might as well keep throwing darts regardless of the backgrounds or whatever. Like, it seems like you don't seem to care at all. You've gotten to the point, and maybe I've kind of vacillated throughout my life as a Browns fan. When I was young in my 20s, I didn't care. When Ray Lewis was the identity of the Baltimore Ravens, and then they made him out in the end to be almost a pastor, on the field. Mm-hmm. And he was talking to kids and reading books to kids. I'm like, well, the NFL doesn't care. Why
That's part of it.
But as I've gotten older, I've changed. I'm surprised you haven't with kids.
Because we had this conversation about Deshaun Watson 3 years ago, and you were like, hey, man, I respect you. You said what I'm saying right now. Like, I respect your guys' opinion, but I want to win. This is a really great quarterback, and I want this quarterback to play for my football team. And I know that these cases are still out there, and I understand he's still going through it with the county down
Watson,
in Texas.
You were famously uncomfortable with that.
I was really uncomfortable. And as I look at this football team, I go, they're interested in trying to do one thing, and they don't do it very well. They're interested in trying to win. And as I look across the NFL,
do you think this was worth the squeeze on this one? Isaiah Bond, a guy who was, I talked to somebody yesterday, said he was a 4th or 5th round.
I talked to people who said he was a 2nd round projection.
You were okay with this one, though? The day of the Judkins? That kind of surprises me.
The timing's odd, but
the timing's bad.
The timing
is horrific.
The timing is bad. But the timing is, if they don't get him, okay, the Chiefs could get him. And who's going to say boo-doo a goose about the Chiefs getting him? The Steelers could get him. Who's going to say boo-doo a goose about the Steelers getting him? Good football teams could get him and add to their arsenal. The Browns are in desperate need of good wide receivers.
Do you roll your eyes then when Mary Kay has her report about the Lisa Friel coming to talk to the Browns and Dee and Jimmy saying we're taking all this seriously, but they're the first team to line up for now basically every player that might have a red flag?
No, I think that they wish that their players wouldn't be out of line. I think they wish that their players wouldn't allegedly wouldn't have charges against them.
I think they lose all credibility on this stuff going forward. I do.
But who has it?
I think
who has it in the NFL?
And I think you would.
Who has it?
I hate to say it because we're in the Cleveland bubble, but if if it were Pittsburgh doing this every day, if this were, I think you'd be
People
a
would rip
little.
'em.
I think you'd be a little louder.
People would
about
rip
it.
them. Yeah, people would rip them. But I mean, hey, have I been that loud? I don't necessarily care for the Chiefs. He mentioned Philadelphia. I got a lot of respect for Philadelphia's organization, and they have, as Nick said, the past transgressions. I can't say I'm an emotional person. I can't say I wouldn't be a little bit louder going, well, what the hell are the Steelers doing over there? What the hell are the Ravens doing over there? Especially, I mean, God, you had a guy like John Harbaugh talking about the standard and God knows what, and then people were throwing it in his face with the Justin Tucker allegations, were they not? So it's real uncomfortable. But that's the NFL. That's this league. And in so many ways, that's pro sports. Johnny in Cleveland, hello.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I got you. Go ahead.
So I have an issue because I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. That's what I thought it was. All of a sudden, there's no way we should condemn these kids and these guys, especially if the courts and the police and the investigators and detectives said that they didn't do anything. We're throwing them to the trash because of a accusation. There's no proof.
Well, which one are you talking about here? Are you just saying in general you're a believe all NFL players first on this stuff,
No.
which
general,
one specifically?
The Judkins case. All of us.
Yeah, Judkins. They do know. The Browns do know there was an altercation. It's not like there's a denial there was an altercation. They're saying it was self-defense, and they have bruising on the alleged victim. There's bruising on her face, multiple different spots on her face. They have the pictures. That's why the police charged them. That's different. There's obviously a difference, as we know, as we unfortunately have to catalog on Sports Talk Radio. There is a massive difference between being able to charge somebody and then being able to win a court case against them. Right. It's a he said, she said, and nobody was there. And so that's all you have. That's why it's very difficult to try these cases at times. It's why a lot of victims don't even come forward. It's why there's oftentimes a delay in victims coming forward. In this case, like Ezekiel Elliott was suspended 6 games for something similar. So I am afraid that Judkins is still probably going to get suspended.
Honestly, Johnny, I agree with Anthony. I think that he's probably still going to get suspended. Honestly, Johnny, the issue is, hold on, Johnny, stay with me. Right. See, like the charges are dropped. So I look at it and I go, it's the NFL. Mm-hmm. There's an opportunity to sign somebody here. I'm being as baseline as I could possibly be about that. But I also know, Johnny, that, again, this is just used. If we're talking about any evidence, this is just used against them after the end of a bad season or whether or not to let people go. That is where we're at on this. The courts and the court of public opinion are two different things. And I would want, if the Browns were a really good franchise, I'd go, I wonder why you're bringing this in. Do you trust the locker room that much? Okay, but why are you bringing in these troubles and having us to have these talks about this with a really good football team? Now I see it as I go, it's not a, hey, what the hell, but they're a desperate football team. We obviously know where they're at, and they're going to try to find talent wherever they can. And according to what the NFL is going to state, they're eventually going to let Quinshon Judkins play. I don't know about Isaiah Bond and his situation and what the NFL is going to deem and rule about that, but they're eventually going to let him play too. So if they're going to play, the Browns see it as let's have them play for us.
I agree with you on that. But it hit home because I have a buddy, I ain't going to say his name, but I have a buddy, he got accused of something. He was a great football player, accused. And the young person that accused him, it was a video with her joking about it, saying, he's in trouble or whatever. And he was exonerated, but they didn't even care about the video. They just care about the accusation. And that's why it's so close to heart to me. Because it's like, wow, even if I'm innocent, and I know I'm innocent, but just because I got accused of this, now it's a dark shadow following me around. That's the only issue I have about that.
Johnny, thank you very much for the call.
That sucks. These are always he said, she said situations, and that's why it's always very interesting to me that the NFL conducts their own investigation, and they come in after the fact, and they try to be an investigative body, and they have all people that did this for a living, working for them in the NFL. And why is the NFL doing any of this? Because they want good PR. They want good PR, and that's why guys end up getting suspended, even if nothing happens in a court of law.
I know we talk about Fatlock, but this is what you've just done for the last 40 minutes is what the NFL cares about. what they care about.
They don't want
That's why
40 minutes on a local sports talk radio show.
That's why there would be, because they try to be something for everybody.